Hello, I'm Lindsay. For those of you that know me, you know that I really enjoy succulents. I have a lot of succulents in my apartment and I like caring for them and propagating new succulents from the leaves. So today I have a FlapJack succulent plant here who has some little babies, one right in there, and then some kind of down in there you can see, maybe. Make sure that it's focused. Yeah, you can see them right down in there. And they need to be transplanted in their own little pots. So I'm gonna do that today, and I'm just gonna show you kind of how I care for my FlapJack plant. So let's get started. So the first thing that I do, my little FlapJack here, is I have to have a few little pots, and I have these two. They look like owls. My mom got them for me a while ago. And I have a big bag of succulent soil. So actually, before I fill my little pot with dirt, I'm gonna take like a little rock and just stick it in the bottom, kind of like right over the drainage hole, so that way dirt doesn't run through when I water my succulent. And then I'm going to fill the pot with dirt pretty much all the way to the top. So now, 2 pots, both filled to the top with soil. Next thing is I'm gonna take my FlapJack, and this is kind of like the tricky part. So when you're transplanting succulents, something that you want to do is like, when you care for succulents, you don't water them super often. You just kind of watch the leaves and water them when they really need it. But anytime I'm going to transplant succulents, like a few days before, I'll make sure that I water it really well, so that way it is in prime health when I transplant. I think it just helps after you've chopped the little baby off and put it in its pot. It helps it kind of like start to grow a lot quicker. So then I have just like your standard like kitchen paring knife. So I'm gonna take this, and we've got the little baby plant right in here. So I'm gonna slide the knife down kind of just along the mama plant and separate the baby from the mom, okay? So I've got the mom and the knife, and I'm just going to bring it down right between the two and ever so carefully detach. Cut off another one too, which I didn't really mean to cut off, but that's okay. And take this little baby off. So now you can see we've got our little baby who is detached and free. It's a whole new plant. So then take this little guy right here and take one of our pots that we filled with dirt, kind of poke a hole in the middle and stick the little new baby plant in there. And then fill the pot the rest of the way with some succulent soil. New little FlapJack in his own pot. All right, so now on this other side, there are a few other little babies under the leaves that you can see there. Yeah, it's just a few babies under there. So I'm gonna now try and cut those ones out and pot them. And the crazy thing is that when I first got this plant, this top portion right here wasn't even there. Like, and I think it's been like 2 months since I've got this, 3 maybe, 2 or 3 months since I got this plant, and that's like how much it's grown. And I took a baby off of this one like, I don't know, like a month ago, so it's grown almost 5 new plants since I got it. So these things kind of grow like crazy, and you constantly are getting new little baby succulents off of these. Succulents look the best when their leaves are like nice and tidy, so I just like wipe the dirt off. They are a little bit delicate, and FlapJacks specifically, they'll get like a powder on their leaves, and it actually looks kind of pretty, so I try not to like over wipe them, so that way that little like powder stays. But yeah, you just kind of like clean it up, wipe it off like so, and then as soon as I've transplanted things, I add some water, and I have this like waterer, I don't know, and it's got like a nice nozzle, so you can like really get in around under the leaves pretty easily with this thing, which is super helpful. You can tell when your succulent doesn't have enough water. A lot of the times the leaves will start to like shrivel. And then if your succulent has too much water, the leaves will become transparent. So that's how I tell. With a FlapJack, you can kind of like feel the edges of the leaf, and if they're more stiff, then they have enough water, and they're happy and they're healthy, and they are good. But if they start to droop a little or they're more pliable, then they need a little bit more water. So I've got this pot, which super cute, just a little puppy with a watering can. And they're all in their own little pots now, and they're happy. And look, I have like 4 new succulents, which is like crazy. It blows my mind how quickly these things grow and how fast you find yourself having like so many more succulents than you originally purchased. So you can definitely hear the maintenance guys downstairs. Sorry about that. But I will show you some of the other succulents that I currently have that are propagating. So let's see. So we've got this pot here, and you can just see the, geez, what are they doing outside? They're snow blowing the mulch. Okay, so you can see like the little leaves, and you can see the little baby succulents coming off of them, and you can see the roots. And I just spritz these every day with like a spray bottle, and they continue to grow. And I've got these little guys that are doing pretty well. I just turned them today because they were growing towards the sun, so they were growing like kind of crooked, so I turned them so they could straighten out a little bit. But I have another little pot with more propagating succulents, and then these guys back here in the back, which are doing pretty well. And yeah, so that's a couple of them, and then I have others over by my window. I told you I have a lot of succulents, okay? Like these are my favorite plants. They don't require like so much care. They're pretty easy to keep happy. You just have to have some sunlight, and you have to watch how much you water them so that way that they're happy, and give them plant food every once in a while. But otherwise, they're pretty low maintenance plants. Got these 2 guys here that are doing really pretty well. This one, when you don't have enough water for this guy, he like really shrivels and wrinkles up a lot. And then I've got these guys, which this one is a little bit weird. I can't quite figure out if I'm watering this one correctly. This one, I glued the lid of this little teeny tiny jar on the side of it and made a cute little succulent pot of my own. Then I've also got this one here, which I propagated from a leaf, as well as that one right there. You would think that's all. You would really think that's it. That seems like a lot. But no, there's more. So I've also got these 3 little guys, which I propagated all 3 of those from leaves, and they're doing really well. And then this other one here. I enjoy succulents because they're easy to take care of. Maybe sometime I'll tell you the story of how I started growing and caring for succulents and propagating succulents. It's kind of like a weird, funny, awkward story. But yeah, so I hope you learned a little something about succulents and specifically flapjacks, and I'll have to keep you posted on how my succulents are doing. And I also hope that you are all finding interesting, fun, quiet, relaxing activities to do while you are all at home. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.